our next speaker is from the American Muslims for Palestine, Ayah Ziyadeh.
Good morning, Washington, D.C. On this day, 102 years ago, the League of Nations assigned the mandate of Palestine to Britain with the 1918 Balfour Declaration. This would be the start of Israel's brutal occupation of Palestine, 102 years ago. Last week, the International Court of Justice declared the Israeli occupation of Gaza, the West Bank, and East Jerusalem illegal. It also unequivocally found that Israel is committing apartheid against Palestinians in the occupied Palestinian territories. This ruling is not just a validation for what we Palestinians have been screaming for decades. It is a clarion call to the world that the time for action has been overdue. For too long, Palestinians have endured unspeakable suffering under the shadow of occupation, settler colonialism, and apartheid. The ICJ's decision shines a light on the truth that has been obscured by political maneuvering and willful ignorance. Yet the true measure of justice will be seen not in the proclamation of law, but in its enforcement. Over and over, we've been forced to confront a damning reality. The United States has played a central role in enabling Israel's genocidal campaign in Gaza and its broader occupation of Palestine. Our tax dollars fund the bombs that rain down on Palestinians. Our political leaders offer unwavering support to a regime that systematically oppresses and brutalizes an entire people, now recognized by international law. For Congress to allow a war criminal like Bibi to enter the halls of our legislative chambers, let alone our country, is nothing short of disgraceful. The occupation existed long before him, we all know that, but Netanyahu's hands are stained with the blood of thousands upon thousands of Palestinians. The 9-month-long genocide of Gaza, marked by relentless bombings and blockades, bears his signature. And yet our leaders, those who claim to stand for justice and democracy, have not only welcomed him, but have met with him, tactically endorsing his crimes. President Biden, who's set to meet with Netanyahu tomorrow, despite knowing the absolute truth for months, and every member of Congress who has facilitated this visit, not only stands complicit in these atrocities, but is single-handedly responsible for them. We must channel our outrage into action. It's not enough to condemn these actions with words. We must demand that our leaders uphold international law and human rights, no matter how tiring it may become for us. The occupation and apartheid must end, and the enforcement of the ICJ ruling is a critical step in this journey. We must pressure our government to cease its support for Israel's crimes, both politically and financially, and hold those responsible accountable, like Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. This is a moment of truth for all of us. Will we stand by as our country aids and abets genocide? Will we allow our leaders to betray the principles of justice and humanity? Or will we rise united and resolute to demand an end to this complicity? Louder! We must rally our communities, educate our peers, and hold our elected officials accountable on a daily basis. The world is watching, and history will judge us by our actions or our inaction. Let us honor the resilience and courage of the Palestinian people by refusing to be silent, no matter how long it takes. Let us demand justice, not just in words, but in our deeds. We owe it to the Palestinian people. We owe it to ourselves as American taxpayers and to the future generations to fight for a world where justice prevails, and that begins by making it clear that we, as Americans, tax-paying citizens do not welcome war criminals of any kind into our country or the halls of legislative chambers that our tax dollars provide for. Thank you, and free Palestine.